Just waiting to see if this goes through. Okay, YouTube appears to have updated it. Has Twitch. Let's see. Apparently I'm offline on Twitch. Let me try and fix that, because it's better to be multi-platform. Okay, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing just now. Apologies for trying to get this sorted. I'm working on another screen just now. Streams logged me out, that's handy. Always handy when something like this happens. Okay, so let me stream using our TMP even. Copy stream key. Okay, that looks the same. Okay, so just want to go to Twitch. Okay. So we should be live now, hopefully, on Twitch. I really need to learn how to use this application. Okay, yes, this video is unavailable, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Clear dashboard. I mean, I'm streaming to something on Restream, so you'd expect it to be showing you. Stream manager. Still showing as offline. Which begs the question, where is it streaming to? Okay. So let's edit this stream. Okay, it does not allow me to edit the actual details for it. So does it work under settings? No, standard stream key. Advanced settings? No, nothing in there either. Wow. Okay, if I go home, go to channels, go to Amax Games Davie. Okay, maybe it is live. activities we can't be subscribed to. Interesting. Why can't I be subscribed to? Also, if I'm logged in as Amax Games Davie, why can't I see Amax Games Davie's dashboard? Why can't I see their stream? I can see this being another YouTube only one until I can sort this stuff out. Yep, I have no idea whether I'm live on Twitch or not. For some reason, it's not showing, but we'll leave it just now. I think I've wasted enough time trying that. So let's just get ready to actually continue with this. Double check our sound and other streams. One moment. Okay. Let's just have a quick check on the sound. Okay, hopefully that's fine. Yep, seems fine. Okay, we shall go back now. As soon as I start streaming, our Chief Security Officer Spike has decided to have the zoomies. Cool. Okay. Right, so let's get back to our Brainiac game and see if this helps us. So we'll have to go into Unity, into our Unity hub and open Brain Drain. Don't know where I got Brainiac coming from there, that just shows you. My brain is mush at this point. While I'm actually waiting for Unity to load in, I'm going to have a look at bigger VMEs for this laptop, just to see if that helps. And 1 terabyte for £62. terabytes for 140. Okay, so I could double the size of my SSD for about £150. Can't wait till this company's actually making some money and they can pay for these kind of things. Because at the moment it's all off of myself, Amax Games Davie, and Amax Games John's back to fund these things. We're funding everything on a minimal budget. Okay, we're inside Unity. So no, right. Okay, welcome back for those of you who are joining us from previous streams. If you're not joining us from previous streams, welcome. I'm Amax Games Davie, or just Davie, rather than have a mouthful. I am one of the founding members of Amax Games, and I'm here on episode 3 of our Brain Drain episode series, where we try and make a game using AI. And the question is AI coming after our jobs? I've had a few experimentations with this recently, some that were not streamed because we had problems, and I'm not 100% convinced AI is coming for coding jobs at this point in time. It may get better in the future, but this is to show you that while it's good at some things, it's potentially not good at others. So we're trying to code a new mobile game with very little skill, because I've not really used Unity much before, in Unity, and we're going to try and code it to be cross-platform. So we're expecting it to be on iOS as well as Android, and we're using ChatGPT to get there. We've created the icon, for example. The logo was created in ChatGPT. Actually, that's a lie. The logo for this and our other series, which hasn't been released yet, called Charty Birds, was created in Gemini, because Gemini allows you to generate images free, whereas ChatGPT wants you to pay for that function at the moment. So I need to try and catch up where we were, because it's been a few days since I did this stream, and try and remember what changes I did and didn't make, because I hit a hard limit when using ChatGPT 4 and it would not let me continue questioning ChatGPT 3 because I had uploaded files to ChatGPT to have it check my code. And at that point, I was not willing to pay for ChatGPT. One of the losses we've got here at Amax Games is the developers are using their own kit at the moment. We're not providing any kit for them. We're literally running the absolute minimum we can. And hopefully we can generate some extra cash at some point and actually start doing so. And the extra £20 a month, while not a large amount of money by any means, to use ChatGPT, is £20 that I didn't feel that we needed to spend. However, if I hit the same limit tonight, and I'm expecting I probably will, then I may just bite the bullet and actually go ahead and do so. So we shall see, although that will be my personal account that we are actually purchasing it on, not the company account. So it'll be me that's paying for it as an individual, not as a company for the time being. I also think that it'd be interesting to potentially compare these ChatGPT and AI clones against each other, so that we can see whether or not they are better or worse than each other at certain things. Because Gemini is obviously part of Google. We use Google Workspaces here for our email hosting, chat hosting, video hosting, file hosting, etc. So if it was worthwhile, it's roughly about the same price as a ChatGPT subscription. So it's entirely possible that we actually purchase them if it was good enough to continue and just have everything inside Google's ecosystem. So with that in mind, now you know why you're here. You're about to see someone who has never really written much code for Unity, doesn't know C#. I'll try and create a game in a mobile. I do work in IT. I'm an infrastructure engineer. I design build and support data centers for banks, so it's not like I'm completely new to the IT environment. But when it comes to coding, I've not coded in 20 some odd years, possibly even 30 at this point. So let's try and catch up on where we were. So the first thing I need to do effectively is go to my project and go to my script and open my 3 scripts, just so we've got them in front of us. And of course it's opened in a completely different monitor than I was expecting. Give it a moment and I'll drag that across to the correct monitor. It's still loading just now. Okay, bring it around here. So we were having a problem where it was saying no questions were available, and we're trying to test this locally. So let's go back to our chat GPT, try and close some additional windows that don't actually require to be opened at this point in time. Can I close Unit Hub? Sweet, I can. The live stream for this, I should probably move on to another monitor just so I can keep an eye on it. Okay, yep. So we've got our chat GPT. I don't need Amax Games homepage open anymore. So I need OBS, I need Visual Studio, I need Chat GPT, and I need Unity. Okay, right. So I need to check if it made these replacements. So fix replace the www with Unity web request. So it was Unity web request using Unity engine.networking. So let's check that. Okay, right. So it doesn't look like I updated this. So it looks like this is where it failed. Android adds the streaming assets and it compresses zip. Inside API and can't be accessed with file.wdal bytes. Unit web request handles it smoothly. Replace new www. Well, blah blah is done with file.write all bytes. Okay. So move this to the top, like I said. And then in the method, do if file exists. Oh, whereabouts is that? If not file exists, destination path. Okay, so it doesn't really tell me where this is meant to be, but since it's Unity web request, I suspect we add this to the top and we replace this part with this. I do like it checking that database has been initialized now. Although, what's the one that showed no quiz questions available? Failed to load database. Okay, right, so yeah. I think if I take a copy of this and go back to here, I basically think we change all of this. Okay, so destination path isn't the thing. So where was destination path set? Okay, so that was actually set in there, so maybe not. Let's undo that. Here's the full updated version of Android specific block in your of that Android specific block. Ah, okay. So I know I see where we change it now. Okay, so we copy that part in there, and it's this part that we change. I think that's it. Okay, no error showing there. Let's jump back into Unity. No, actual Unity. And see. Okay, no error showing there. So let's hit play and see what it does. Still says no questions available. Right. Okay. It is still showing no questions available, and I click run. And I can't spell available. Add the debug line after your copy from streaming. That's it. Copy from streaming aspect. Okay, so I've already opened the DB and seen that it's actually inside. Right, so it's wanting to double check that the ones it's actually showing is there, okay? This validator is suspiciously small. Right, okay. Persistent data path. There's persistent data path. And this is one of the things that has not been helped by AI at this point. I don't know enough about it to try and find some of these things it's asking me for, so I'm having to look around. Okay. Okay. See that. Don't get me wrong, I think they will get better at writing code and being able to effectively talk idiots like myself through this kind of thing. However, it won't. It's not just now. It may be tomorrow. It may be next week. Or it's just not just now. That's what I'm trying to say at this moment in time. Okay. So the DB exists, and the file size is correct. Well, it's 12K. It's not exactly huge. Okay. And open the database. Just let me copy the bit I want to copy. Darn it. Click and run. Paste that in there. Hopefully. Okay. Show apps. Oh, interesting. It's not showing them. For another app in the PC. DB browser. SQLite. There we go. Open. Hopefully that works. Apparently not. Okay. Okay. So as the database opens, but there are no questions in it. There we go. Okay. So I was trying to debug something that was indeed not a problem. So there actually is no questions in it, but I'm pretty sure there was 5 in the database originally. So I'm curious as to why there or where those 5 have went. And 5 is not a massive amount, but here you go. So let's go back to downloads on my other screen. Let's just pull this in here. Let's paste in the path. Okay. Let's copy the brain drain template across. It's the same size, interestingly. Let's double click that and make sure that it has questions in it. It does. Okay. And just for the sake of it, we'll open another one. Browse. It doesn't. Okay, so there's no questions in that one. Right, fine. So let's press F2. Nope, not that one. F2, Control A, Control C, and then delete. Will still be used because it's still running. Yep. Try again. And go. And F2, Shift, Insert, boom. Okay. Hopefully that's the case now. So let's go back to Unity and try running the game again. There we go, in which year did the Titanic sink? Now if I stop it again, this is where we'll need to trim up the web interface, change it. Interesting, selecting the same question. I suppose there is only 5, so there's a 1 in 5 chance of it being the same thing every time you run it. Who wrote Romeo and Juliet? Okay, awesome. Right, let's try and fix this web interface, shall we? I'm terrible with how these things actually get mapped out. But we are getting there, hopefully, or at least I'm learning. I believe I'm learning every day. Okay. So I'm guessing that I have a panel in here or something that is too slim. So the canvas is definitely big enough. That looks fine. Okay, so there, the question is just literally too small here. So I don't know how big I should make it, to be honest, but let's just pull this across. Let's try and bring it a square in from each side. Okay, and we'll drop this down. Let's try this. Okay, and we'll run that again. I really need to get better at designing user interfaces, that's without a doubt. Right. Okay, I think I need to move score. I definitely think that needs to be moved somewhere else. It's not terrible where the text is at the moment. Yeah. So let's turn that off just now. Let's play about a bit more with this user interface. So let's grab our score. So the score's font size 36. What font size is this? That's font size 60. Okay, so I should probably try and keep it consistent if I can, right? So this might be too big. Okay, let's expand this to there. Okay, grab the movement tool, move it up. Come on. No. Score text. There we go. How can I move you? Aha, because I had a vertical layout group in here. Okay. Okay. So the logo should probably be separate anyway, and we can deal with that later. Right, but we've got the score now, so let's zoom in our answer here. I wonder if the answer should be and the submit should be next to each other. Yeah, I think that's probably a better way to do it. So should this maybe be? Well, let's get the basics together. Actually, let's worry about that later. Right, okay, so point size 60. Okay, resize this. Come on. No. That's better. Okay. Okay, should probably be a little bit smaller than that. Okay, and the submit button should probably be the same. Okay, I mean it's not perfect. Score's a bit out here on its own at the moment, but it's looking better than it was. Okay, so let's try run it and see if it generates a question. Now the question looks. Okay, awesome. Right, so we have a very basic game that's now displaying random questions to us. close that just now. Let's go back to our loyal friend over here. It's good that it can send me a known good DB file. Minimal Unity scene and working scripts in a Unity package. I think I'm going to test that on a different stream just to see what it can actually do. Okay, got the database working. I wonder if I should add lives to this. Like, you get 3 lives and you can buy extra lives. I wonder if that's an interesting thing for that. Loading questions from a server later on might be a good thing at some point. But for the time being, I'm going to try and keep them local. Saving high scores locally again. And the difficulty carries, that sort of stuff I can work on. So I think the next thing is going to be check or answer. I think we should check or answer next. No, I already have a submit button. I also don't see a reveal answer. Either do. At least I don't think so. So yeah, I've got the answer input field. I've got the database manager. Submit button. Yeah, I've got a submit button. Okay. So I need to look at our code, see if we do actually have a check answer. Did I reckon that would be braindrain.quiz? Okay, no check answer. Okay. So let's add it. It's not giving me the full script anymore. So it's wanting me to add. Okay. So it's missed out as adding where the feedback would be. We'll add that in a moment, right? But let's add the check answer information. So I can't just copy and paste this. This is for braindrain.quiz. So I can add them here. And then we've got check answer and load next question. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay, no, it's added those stupid markers in again. So these need to be removed. Okay, save that. So I need a TMP text called feedback text. Okay, so let's go back to here. Suppose it should. What do you think? Should we put it in under the submit? That was incorrect. I think I will. I think I'll put it in under the submit. So canvas, right click, add UI, text mesh pro. Okay, click on it. What was it? 60. Okay. Zoom in and we'll do what we did with the last one. We will stretch it to roughly about one box in. Okay, and we'll take the text out. Okay, open it up a little bit more, just to check. Okay, and we shall call this one. No, not that one. We shall call it. What shall we call it? We should call it feedback time. Feedback text. Oh, why is it not copying? Let's go back to our guru. So assign the submit button and feedback text in the Unity Inspector. Okay, so what am I assigning it to? That's not nothing there. Okay, so submit button is that one. Feedback text is that one. Okay. And a player types an answer and types submit. Game checks it, gives feedback, loads the next question after a delay. Okay, so let's try this. I'll probably have to load up some more questions in a moment. But for the time being, let's just open the database on another monitor. And we'll click play and see what one it selects. Nice easy one to start with, that's 81. So I should be able to type in here, enter 81, and click submit. And nothing happens. Because I did not link submit to anything, I think. Did it ask me to link the submit button to anything? No, it just asked me to assign them in the Unity Inspector. Okay. Right, so let's stop that. So the submit button is there. So we'll go back to Quiz Manager. Submit button. Right, so shouldn't I be selecting my submit button? Clicking on adding an on-click event, bringing in quiz manager, and going to brain drain quiz and check answer. Correct? Doesn't tell me to do that, but shouldn't that be what I'm doing? Have I missed that somehow? Ah, no, it's there. Okay, let's try again. Wow, William Shakespeare, literally the longest answer that it's actually got. Okay. Yay! We now have feedback. Now I'll put 90 in here just to see if it tells me I'm wrong. Okay, it also gives me the correct answer. Don't know if I like that actually. I don't know if I like that. Right, that's fine though. So we've got that. Okay. Awesome. So let's go back here. Yep. Let's add score tracking. Public TMP underscore text score text. Doesn't look like I have a score text there yet. Yeah. Okay. So let's update the check answer. Okay. And new update score UI method to add. And a new start. Where's start? Cool. Where's the extra? It's there. Okay. And canvas add team text element. Okay. It's not that one. It's that one. Score text. Okay. All right, so let's check that. So my score should reset. Run it. Scores already 0. What's Kimpo symbol for gold? It's AU. Submit. Okay, score updated. That was William Shakespeare. Oh, wrong code. Okay, that's working. Guy Paris. Okay, so that's a duplicate question, so I don't want that. Obviously, I've only got 5 questions at the moment, but hey ho. Okay, so the Titanic one is the only one I've not actually had yet. There we go. Okay. So I think I'm going to be cheeky. I think I'm going to add uh, an extra line right down the bottom, possibly even just under submit, something like questions currently in the database. Yeah, something like that, just to keep track of how many questions are in it. This way people can see when it's been updated. That sounds like a plan. Right. Okay, so back to our Guru. These are good ideas, but I don't think just now. I think I want to flex the database size. Can we add a question data a database question count? No, can we add a counter for the number of questions in the database to flex? Let's flex our brain power. It's quite cringeworthy, some of the things that ChatGPT tells you. Yeah, so that's what I was going for. Showing the number of questions in the database shows that. Okay, so then brain drain.quiz. So okay, inside here we're adding total questions. Okay, then in start we're adding a calculation of the questions. Do it here. I think. Oh, in fact, no, that's fine. And in quiz database manager, add get total questions. Okay. I don't think I want to show the question progress just now. It's maybe something for further down the line. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go back here. So let's add another text. UI, text mesh pro, and call this question count. Okay, let's go to our quiz manager. Interesting. It's not there. Is it on the database manager? No, it's not. Oh, okay. Let's go back here. What have I missed? So I set the variable. Technically something or so. I create a variable total questions.text. Brain drain's not been saved, that's fine. Oh, grrr. I should stop doing that. Yep, now we'll go back here. Come on. Come on. There we go. Total question count. Okay. And obviously I should probably wipe out the fact that it said just take the text out from that just now. Okay. Oh, scheiße. Game is still running, so those changes didn't take effect. That's because it's just went and tried to run again. Okay. So quiz database manager, it's not that, it's under quiz database. I take oh. Okay. Oh, of course I added it at runtime, so it didn't change anything. So text message pro. Should be size 60. And I should resize it with the rest. Okay. And we should call it question count. Okay, nip the text. Go to our quiz database manager and that. Now I'm going to hit play. Okay, I want to change that from total questions. But that looks like it works. Let's go back to our code. Total questions. Get in here, wasn't it? Huh? It was actually in here. Interesting. Don't know if that's better. Let's try and find out, shall we? No, that looks even worse. Okay. Maybe. Database contains X questions. I still can't spell question correctly. Just play. Okay. Database contains 5 questions. Okay, right. Awesome. So what I think I need to do at this point is I need to expand the database. How many categories do we have? We've got 5 categories. Could probably add a 6, could probably add sports. What do you think? Okay. Do you know what? I'm going to be cheeky here. I'm going to have a new chat. Okay. Can you generate me 100 questions and simple answers with easy, medium, hard difficulty levels for the category geography? Okay. I'm going to try something really smart here because it's still going. Oh, that's a. Oh, okay. I'll put I need n added to a database. I use difficulty 1 for easy, 2 medium, and 3 for hard. ID, category, difficulty, answer. Okay. So it's getting there. So the ID is correct. I wonder if it'll give me a downloadable SQL. We'll try that in a moment, right? But I want it in a correct, I want it in a slightly different format. So the database format is ID, question, answer, category, difficulty. No, I didn't upload the file, so this is where it's tying itself up a little bit, okay? So, let's try the original request again. Or you know what? Let's see if I can salvage this one. Can I? I probably can. ID category difficulty. Insert questions ID question answer difficulty. Right, I'm actually going to just copy this code and see if it works. What do we think? Right, so we'll click copy. Bring in my database. This is the offline version of it. To execute SQL code and paste. And run. Okay, so there's no such table questions, right? That's fine. The table is called quiz question. Okay, try again. Yep, ID is an auto, so we can just do that. And see, this is where it's going to become a pain, right? Let's control copy. Again, we're just trying to see if we can salvage this. But that's not going to work because it's a useful set of questions, but we'll have to figure that one out slightly different. So let's go over here. Let's go to Google Sheets. Blank spreadsheet. Okay, paste those in. Delete. Oh. Okay, geography castles, France. Okay. So I should be able to do text to column, I believe, somewhere. I've never used Sheets to do this before, so I'm aware of how to do this in Excel, but not so much here. So pre-built tables. Yeah. Data. You'd think it'd under data, wouldn't you? Data validation, data cleanup, data communication. Okay. Well, let's be rather amusing. The chat in Google Sheets. How do you do text to columns? So it says on split data, split cells to columns. So there we go. Awesome. So if we blow this column away, Okay. And we just delete this column. Okay. That and paste it here. And then delete that column. And then delete or cut this column and insert it here. It will be to the left. And Control V. And then delete this column. Okay. Do Control H. Look for a quote and replace with nothing. Oh, okay. Quote bracket then. All sheets. There we go. Okay. I think we've just purified that. That took a bit longer than we were expecting, obviously. Okay. Geography's not quite right. Control H. Looking for a quote. Change it to nothing. Place all. Okay. So file and save as. No save as. Share. Mail download. Download as a comma separated variable. Okay. So open our CSV. See what it looks like. Okay. So that looks like it's in the correct format that we need. Let's just move that to the side for now. Let's go back here to here. And this is all me still trying to work this out, obviously. How do I add a new row? Where's how I add one? Well, there's how I edit one, but how do I add a new row? Or do I have to do it via SQL? So the table is displayed, print, insert a new record in the current table. Okay. And again, I'm working the backup of my database here. So let's go back over to, no, not to that. Let's go back to the CSV. For some reason, it's opening MS Code. Okay. And go back to our database and MS Code. Just like one start off and do Control Copy, Control V. I have no idea why that didn't work. Something didn't work there. Okay, discard. If I just copy one line, look, so can I just paste one line? No. Okay, so it's not intelligent enough to do that. Right. What if I select the whole line and then do paste? No. Okay. There seems to be another way to actually do this, because I was hoping for a nice easy way to update this database, and it's not looking like there is, at least not with my current skill set. See, you tuned in to see AI doing things, and got to see me failing miserably at doing things. Why is there no option? There we go, delete record. Okay. So again, let's go back to our guru because we're trying to get it to help us as best as possible. Awesome. In SQL browser? No, what's it called? In SQL browser? DB browser? How can I import a CSV? Oh, okay. Create a new table. CSV. Into an existing table. Select the existing table and browse database. Click the import button in the top menu. Choose the CSV. CSV. Oh, okay. So let's in here. Import. Database from SQL file, table from SQL, table from CSV data and click. I'm not sure this is what I'm looking for. Let's try. Okay. No, there's no column name. It's only showing me 20. Maybe that's just a preview thing. Oh, yeah, no, created a new, I don't know that, it's not delete table. That's not what I need. Okay, so if I do import from here, database from a SQL file, table, CSV data, and clipboard. Import an existing table. If you've already created a table and you just want to import it into select the existing table, CVS columns to table columns. Select your existing table in the database browser tab. Okay, so maybe I imported it in one place. Let's try that. Import database from SQL file. No. Import table from CSV file. Downloads. Table spreadsheet. Okay. I don't want to create a new table. Okay, so I'm doing something wrong somewhere around here. Don't quite know what, to be fair. I import a table from CSV. It's not a table I want though. That creates a new table. It does not import into the current database table. Import the data. Which table is this new database? Can read my using it. Go to Browse Data tab, select target table from the drop-down table, top left of the tab. Okay, yep. Import button, top right. Insert new record. I don't see an import, do you? Oh, hold on. Be one of these. Import from file. Downloads. Downloads. Just looking for a TXT. All files. CSV. Open. Apply. Okay, yeah, so that didn't work either. Import from file, export to file, next application, open the file application. That's only edit the cell. I don't want to edit the cell, I want to edit the whole thing. Discard, 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 discard. I think I'm going to have to terminate that process and rethink this one. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. And I need to work out what's wrong with this one. What is wrong with this? Okay, let's just terminate that. Task manager and DB browser. Task. Sweet. Right. Okay, so that one didn't help. So let's try, if that doesn't work, as always, if AI is failing us, where would we normally go? Let's try the YouTubes. My typing's getting worse, I swear I'm sober. Awesome, it shows that I'm live. Oh, there's 4 people watching. Interesting. So, DB browser. Import table data from SQL from CSV. I don't care about Excel. dbeaver, no. Okay, none of these appear. Okay, I've spelled DB browser wrong. Maybe that's something to do with it. Okay, important CSV in SQL. Okay, a minute and a half. Can't be that bad. Okay, let's move it off screen so I don't get the copyright hit. Oh, awesome. It's not actually showing me how to do it. Well, actually, I can't hear anything because OBS is picking up the speakers. So because I'm using a headset in headset mode, it's not actually letting me listen to things the way it should be. So I'll import CSV from file. And they seem to make it look really, really easy, but the bit that I actually wanted to see, fun enough, was blurred. It actually blurred the entire screen. So not only could I not hear it, I couldn't actually see it. Fantastic. Love it when I do things like that. Okay, that's coming through on stream, so let me just mute my desktop audio for a minute. Okay. Okay, so it would seem that you have to name it, you import it as a table, name it as the same as the current table, and then imports them correctly. Because that makes sense. I mean, I suppose it does, but it seems a bit of a backwards way around it, doesn't it? So let's go back to opening our download. I shouldn't call it brain drain at this point, I should call it brain damaged. Okay, so our table is called quiz question. So if I do file and I do import and table from CSV and select the table, open, call it quiz question. Okay, and now in there's fine. What does advanced say? Disable detection, use local number convention. Okay. Okay. And I spelled quiz question wrong, so it didn't even help me at all. Oh, fantastic. Right, let's try that again, but without my fat fingers. Quiz question. Okay, so file. This is pretty funny. Never underestimate that things can't go wrong, because as soon as you do that, guaranteed everything's going to go wrong. This is why streaming is a lot more difficult than people make out. Q-U-I-Z. See, I can spell quiz. Can't type it, but I can spell it. Nearly done it again. Oh, okay. So it's failing because there's no empty column initially. Okay, so because this has got an auto-incrementing ID, it's not letting me import the CSV. So I need to go back to the Google Doc. And literally add an empty column. Okay, and then do file, download, comma separated variable. There we go. Let's try that again. So back here, file, import table from CSV, downloads, select a new one. Okay, select here, quiz question, select OK. There's already a table quiz question. Do you wish to import the detail? yes to all. Okay, go to browse data, and there we go. All of it imported. Sweet. That was a bit of a roundabout way of doing it. So what we need to try and do is when we ask ChatGPT to create the next batch of questions, which I'm just about to do, I need to create it in a specific format. So let's go back up to the start. Okay. What was our next? What was our next category? Can't remember. Literature. Okay. Try out 100 questions and simple answers with. We'll do 1, 2, 3 difficulty levels for the category literature. I spelled that correctly. In the format question Jesus. Answer category difficulty. Let's see if that works. Okay, so Romeo and Juliet's in there again. What's the name of the wizard in Harry Potter? Harry Potter. Charlotte's Web. Okay. That's first new of John. Okay, yeah. That looks like it worked. Okay. Save these as a CSV, please. Oh, I think I broke it. I'll give it a moment, see if it catches up. But I think it's broken. Yeah, I broke it. Okay, so I stop that. And then do can you export these as a CSV form, please? Download that, see if it works. Okay, looks like it might have. So what we have to do is we'll open it up and we'll have a look. It's given an ID though, and it's only given 42 of the questions. Right, okay, so that's not quite working the way I had intended. Okay, so let's try this another way. Let's try the copy and paste method again. Control A, delete. Okay, paste these in here. To data, data, split text to columns. Yep. Wait, why did it do them all in a row? Love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so here's everything in here. Oh, it's getting as one selection, right? Okay, no, that doesn't work. So let's select 100 of these, or more than 100, but at least 100 of these. Did that work? Sort of. Okay, so now we've got 100 of these. Take out these. And this is, you can also see here, because obviously this is not ideal, having to sit and do this. So I need to work on the prompts I'm giving ChatGPT in hopes that I can actually get these exported in a format that's actually more suitable going forward. So select all the data, split text to columns. There we go. Okay, insert a column to the left because we need that one. Can I filter on blanks? No. Or well, I suppose technically I can create filter. No, didn't work. Okay. So now we've got it, but we've got blank spaces. Control A. So I should be able to clear these blanks out somehow. Let's find out how. It's probably going to be under data. Data cleanup. Trim white space. Okay. Data. And data cleanup. And remove duplicates. Probably just need it from the one, to be honest. So column B, I suspect, would work. Okay, there we go. It's deleted almost all of the blank lines. So we can go in here, delete the row. That looks like we have almost what we need. Something's went wrong with this question. Okay, something's went wrong with some of these questions. That's fine. We've also lost some of the questions. Okay, this is why manipulating data is an art, people. So we have 100 questions. Okay. We paste in 100 questions. Transpose. Yeah. That'd have been too easy. Okay, so we paste these in. That actually worked. So go to data, data cleanup, remove duplicates, just from column A. Okay. Still not copying all of the questions across. So Salman Rushdie's The Satanic Verses. That's the last question. So what questions are it missing? Because it's losing 7 questions in here somewhere. Okay. Right. So paste this in here. Delete. Oh, of course, maybe the 7 that it's removing are actually proper duplicates. Maybe ChatGPT's actually repeated the questions. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, data validation. No. Clean up suggestions. Okay, it's looking at the wrong column, that's why. Empty cells. There's only 90 unique values. So yeah, it's not actually giving me 100 questions. Okay. That sort of makes sense. Okay, so from here to data cleanup, remove duplicates, remove. Okay. Delete row. Select whole column. To pools. Oh, do data. Split text to columns. There we go. Let's see. I mean, that one's obviously wrong. That should be literature. Right. So it's split wrong in the comma. Right. So that's what failed on that one. That's fine. Okay. So if I just correct this data. What Russian novel in over 1,000 pages? And there's 5 major families. One Piece. Hey, Jesus. There's a fair few add in here. Actually, this is only 3. It's probably not that bad. It probably just feels more than that. Because I'm doing it and I'm trying to do it live, obviously. Oh, that's going to screw it up. Those commas are still going to screw it up. I don't think it's going to import these correctly. At least not all of them. Okay. Right. So I'm going to remove that from there. And I'm going to find, there's a War and Peace. That should be fine because the comma was in 1,000 and the other one was, what was the other one? Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I'll just take the comma out of that so they import correctly. Right, so with that in mind, I can do lit queues. Okay, and file and going to download as a CSV. Okay, but I still need to generate 10 more questions to have 100 each. So can you generate me 10 more questions as there were duplicates in your original data? Okay. So I can't process them just now. So what I'll do is I'll import these ones into the database first. So quiz question, remember that. File, import table from CSV, downloads, let questions, open. Of course, I forgot to add the additional column. Okay, do file, export, I'll download. Okay, again, file, import, table from CSV, downloads, let question sheet 1. Okay, right, so now we've done that, you can Control A. So annoying me because it's not selected in the way I want it to. I can close the column stats, I can close cleanup, that's pointless. I can close the data validation rules, that's pointless as well. Okay, I can go back here, have our next 10 questions. These really shouldn't be too hard. Okay, that's fine. Where did my menu go? Yeah, okay. Let's actually saving a copy of these. Okay, I don't really need to save a copy, to be honest. Right, so I can delete that one. Move to bin, blank spreadsheet. Okay, close the tables. But my menu has disappeared. Where's my file menu? Okay, this is why doing everything live is a pain in the backside. But let's just, I can do most of this one manually. Okay. That didn't work. Thought it'd be smart, but it wasn't going to work. Okay. Please call me. No. Data validation. No. That's annoying. What happened to my menus? I don't know where my menus went. Hey, let's go back to our fountain of knowledge, shall we? Table of comms guide. My menus are not showing in sheets. Ah, no way. Even though I was not actually using version 4, it's now telling me that I've hit my limit. I thought that was only per chat. Apparently not. I suppose that makes sense. Although, to be fair, I thought that was also only if it needed GPT 4.0, which the brain drain one does, which means I've kind of screwed ourselves in that trying to fix this database. Okay, F11. To be fair, I'm pretty sure that's actually a Windows one, so it wouldn't surprise me. No, F11 just goes full screen. So, not that. Nope. Have I zoomed in? No, it's not to do with zoom. Small word 0. Ah, there we go. Okay, don't know how I managed that, but I managed to. Okay, there we go. They're back. Right, okay, so if we've hit the ChatGPT 4.0 limit, I guess today is all about updating the database, which is fine. I just need to find a more efficient way of doing it, I think. Which is good, it means I can play about with the efficiency of this, which is kind of part and parcel of what we're doing. Like efficiency is what we're striving for here. So split text into columns, yeah, and drop in an extra column, and then call it bit2, and then file and download as CSV. Okay, wait for it to download, back to DB browser, file, import table, download, split2, open. Okay, so I should have about 205 if my calculations are correct at this point, and I do. Sweet. Right. Okay, so do 200 questions in our database. Right, let's see if we can play with this and get a better output from it. So, geography quiz questions. Yeah, I'm fine. So, we've generated these questions. Okay. What's the next category? What's our next category? Math. UK would call it maths, not math, but I suppose I'm going for the international audience here, so math is what it's going to be. Okay. Make exportable. Exportable. CSV for importing to a database that has a primary incrementing primary key. Okay, so its data analysis also hits a limit as well. If you can still generate 100 math questions, so I think they've got tighter on the limits for ChatGPT actually. I don't remember hitting any limits like this before. Yes, I would like you to do that. Let's try that. Is it good? It gives you some. Looks like it gives you some feedback on top of that as well. Okay. So if it's generating them like this, I wonder if I could get it to do it on different categories at once. So if I literally just Control A and delete this, and then do Control V and do the data cleanup. Split text to columns. It worked out the ID. Awesome. Let's take out the ID because I don't need it. And wipe the first column. Oh, wow. Something went wrong there. Something's went wrong there. Right, okay. Okay. So yeah, it's again just column stuff. So most of these look fine. Wait, okay, that's the answer. That's fine. I don't know why the number is jumping about. Some of them are pretty brutal, like. So I just do Control X on this. F2 space. Okay. Control X on that. Move that across. What is video number 4? Okay, so it's giving you multiple results here. Yeah, multiple choice effectively. 7, 9, 12, 15 question mark. Okay. Take these 3, move them over here. Take that one. Pin them backside down. Do you know what? See these ones that are broken? I'll just take them out. And I'll just generate additional questions. Just delete. Oh, 2 more. Okay, so I need to generate another 8. thing. Now let me just copy and paste these in here. No, it won't. Excellent. Or will it if I select the right number of columns? Maybe that's the thing. No. Okay. Right, so we're importing these ones first and then add in some more. So I'll need to save it first. I know I make such thrilling content, updating a database, and I suppose technically I'm doing exactly what I said I was going to do. I'm doing it using ChatGPT, but it's quite frustrating because I'm not getting 100% the results that I actually need in a format that I need it to make this streamlined, shall we say. So file and import. Okay, downloads, let, okay. Yep, does it have headers? No, it doesn't. Sweet. Oh, no, spelled that wrong again. Okay, import file, import text, downloads, let, okay. Quiz question, return yes to all. Okay, go back here, control again. Oh, that actually closed it. Awesome. No, I was intending to do it. Back in here. Control A, Control V. No, Control A, delete. Control V. Okay. Data. Split text to columns. Delete the first column. All of them look fine. File. Download. CSV. Back over here. File. Import. No. File. File. Import from CSV. Downloads. Let's let a quiz question. Okay, yes to all. Should take me to 305. Which considering, it doesn't take me to 305. Okay. Interesting. So I'm pretty sure it was at 205. So I'm still missing 2 questions. Okay, that's fine. Okay, Control V, data. I wonder if I could create a macro to do this. Split text. Oh, Control Z, you idiot. Tools, data, split text to columns. Really? No, they're crap questions. Okay, you know what? It's 2 questions. So empty, empty. Just paste in F2. What is the square root of 144? F2. What is the value of pi rounded to 2 decimal places? Wrong key. Okay. So 12. So that should be 12. Math 1. And this should be 3.14. Math 1. Okay. So now I can delete these from the end. And I've hit the wrong key again. Okay. And then do the file. Save as CSV or download, comment separate variable. Wait for download, jump across. File, import. Download, select. Control A, pause, question. Nearly done it again. Oh. Why is it failing? And you know what? Bugger. Let's manually do it because it's two blooming things. So down here is insert new record. Okay. So let's go back here. What is it? Square root 144 12. No, no. Control Z. I just changed that. Okay. 12. Okay. Math. Okay. And 1. That one should be 1. That should be math. Okay. And that should be 3.14. Okay. Right. So, sweet. We've now got 305. Right. Let's go back to our favourite ChatGPT. Select our next category, which is history. Okay. But let's try a slightly different prompt this time. Okay. What did we say it was? History. Okay. A CSV format. Great. And I'm going to change to 100 unique questions. See if it's going to do that. I'm going with no because of how long it's taken just to think about it. Oh, oh no, still thinking about it. Okay, let's do that. I'll just take a peek into YouTube's. Go to YouTube Studio. Okay. Okay, episode 2. Cool. Has it thought about it yet? Yes, do go manually. I've been streaming for over 2 hours. I'm actually enjoying this, in spite of the fact that it's taken its time to do this. I don't know at which point it would actually be worthwhile me spending more money on ChatGPT. Yeah, okay, so it's not going to generate any questions for me at the moment. But, mahahaha. Just because we've broke ChatGPT does not mean that we can't use something else. So I shall jump across. We'll try AI chatbot. Okay. So obviously we've got ChatGPT and the usual YouTube gubbins. Interesting. I'd actually thought somebody would offer me one right away to just click on. But apparently not. Okay, I've not heard of any of these. If Bing's chatbot's anything like its search engine, that's not what we want. So, AI chatbot. Jesus, AI chatbot girlfriend is the fourth most searched for thing. AI chatbot. Is it DeepSeek? Is the one that's meant to be spanking ChatGPT? Okay. Start now. I don't really want to log into this stuff. Okay, DeepSeek. What's the other one? Is it Copilot? Is Copilot free? Or is there a free version of Copilot? Okay. Let's ask that. No, apparently it can. This is also one of the reasons I don't want to put money down on ChatGPT at the moment. Is because the alternatives might actually be better. Mm-hmm. Ah. Okay, so it didn't really generate anything. It generated a false URL. Okay. The download didn't work, and you just display for me to copy paste. It's actually suggesting other categories: science, geography, pop culture. Pop culture might be a good one. I've not got that in the database. And do you know what I'm going to do? Let's go, in fact, it's back where it was. Okay, so don't use that one, don't need that one, don't need that one. Let's go back here. Rather than doing this one at a time, paste these in just now. We'll leave the data headers for the time being. Actually, we can't because there needs to be an empty column. Right. But for the time being, so it should be 101 there. And there's not, right? So it didn't actually generate 100. So maybe this is where the problem is, okay? Is it's not generating 100. So King of Israel was the last one. Yeah, okay. So I'll ask it to generate 13 more, please. In fact, it'll be 14 more because there's a title. Jesus, my typing's getting worse. Okay. That's the same questions. Well, at least some of them are. Because the first one was, who's first president? It's when did World War II end? Right, okay. So it's an example of why Copilot is crap, effectively. No. These are duplicates of the ones you already gave me. I wanted more questions. Unique. Or okay, that looks better. No, you. Okay. Right. So, what is our next category in our database? Science. So, science would be our final category. Pour myself some more juice while it's doing that. What is the name of the scientist who discovered not a hope in heck I would get any of them? Not even close. Okay. Back to our spreadsheet. So 102 should take me to 202. It doesn't. It takes me to 186. So I need to generate another 14 more. So I don't think it can generate 100. I think it generates about 80. Please generate 16 more that are unique. I wonder if I asked it to do 50 and then 50 more, would that work? Okay. So it should take me to like 202. No. Try that again. Yep, that worked. Okay. I have the following categories: maths, science, history, literature, literature, and what's the other one? What's the other one? Geography. Geography. There we go. Would you like 100 questions from each category or smaller that sits now? I can generate them as a CSV style file with difficult levels just like before. Right. What additional categories would you suggest I could add? Okay. Wow. Pardon me. Culture and religion. Don't know what some of these like. So, pop culture as a whole, or movies, TV, celebrities. Well, let's get it to generate some music ones, eh? 100 unique. Actually, generate 50. Oh, actually, no, no, no. Let's try and be smart, right? Let's see if it fails with this one. Generate 100 questions like before for. No, I want to do it in smaller sets. I was going to get it to do multiples at a time, but I don't because I want to keep track of roughly how much is in each one. So generate 100 questions as before uh, for music. And Miss Sebrow, Murphy's Law, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. We both know that's true. That's basically our daily job, fixing that. Okay. Category of music, but look at it. The process looked like it was turned to solid. This is all science questions. Or not all of it, but some of it. So it's Bob Marley. Did this just poison the database? They all appear to be science. That'd be from like 102 onwards. Yeah, no, they appear to be correct. Okay. This data is incorrect. Lots of these questions are about science, not music. It's taking its sweet time. Don't want to do that. Maybe later. I've not been impressed with Copilot compared to ChatGPT at this point. Yeah, that's not doing much there. Okay. So Copilot seems to be only if I'm desperate. So from Copilot, let's go to try Gemini, but I think I actually need to pay for it. Don't really think there's a free Gemini. Not in the same sense, because I'm pretty sure the last time I seen it, it tokens. We'll try it. Okay, and category music. Okay, so right, so Gemini can't do it. Okay, guess I'm going back to DeepSeek then. Okay, let's see if DeepSeek can do it. Well, looks like it's doing its job. Seems to be much slower than ChatGPT though. I'm going to leave that generating them for a moment. Check on my kitten. Oh, it finished! Yay! so DeepSeek can kind of do it. Well, actually, DeepSeek can do it. It's just a little on the slow side. So let's go back to our lit questions. Okay, so 203 should go to 303. Okay, so it didn't quite generate 100. I need it to generate 3 more. Oh, hold on, one of them was... Nah, you're okay, right, fine. I wonder if I should generate them in 50s rather than 100s. 3 more? Yeah, 3 more. What? Okay. Awesome. Don't know why they've changed colour. But hey. Format painter. Yep. Why is that one not painting? Okay. Oh, Jesus, I made it worse though. Okay, Control A. Change it to black text. No, black text. Come on. Okay, fine, we'll worry about that later. Right. Okay. Can you suggest additional categories for questions for a quiz game? Seriously? They've removed the actual... Oh, there we go, it's up top. History I've got. I don't have a sports category. Should probably have a sports category. Damn. I mean, DeepSeek definitely seems to be thorough, if somewhat slower. Okay, generate sport questions in the same format as before. Use generate 50. Okay. I know it's slightly faster, but this reminds me of old school printers where you used to go and it'd slide across and then get to the end and stop and go back and then slide across and do the next one and then stop and then go back. Old dot matrix printers. Just seeing one of those questions there has made me wonder. 300 or perfect game. I wonder if it would be worthwhile noting the ID of the question now that I've seen that, so that people can report a bad question. Because that could be a thing. So 312, 363. Yeah, okay, so it's definitely generating 50. I'm going to go back and ask ChatGPT some questions in a moment. In fact, maybe we should do a video where we actually compare ChatGPT versus DeepSeek versus Gemini versus Copilot. Although I was not really too impressed with Copilot, and I was very unimpressed with Gemini. I tried Grok, but I don't really want to pay for Twitter at this point in time. Okay. Okay, so it generates 50 quite openly itself. It's only if you're trying to generate more than that, it seems that there's an issue. Okay, so I'm going to, that's just saving while I go along. So that's be 400 new questions added to the database on top of the ones I've got, which should give me about 600 questions. Do you think that's a fair amount to start a database server? Database server, not server itself, obviously, a database for a quiz game. Yeah, Copilot sucks. Okay. So with that in mind, let's try and purify this data. Let's see how bad this is. 411. How many do you think are completely screwed when I do this? So tools, data, split text to columns. No, one can disappear. There we go. A fair few broken. Okay. So let's delete the top row. Insert a column to the left. Okay, and this is saving as it's going along. So just try and correct this data. Whoa. Interesting. Why did that fail? Okay. Not too bad. What was the term for a sudden, strong accent in music? Never got that one. Oops. Interesting. 308 and 309 appear to be empty. Okay. What's a term? Oh, one under par. Liberty. Okay, this is taking its time. Okay. Is this deleting somebody's when I enter them? How many rings are on them Olympic flag? There's 5. Okay. And maybe how many quarters are in a game? Well, it's called a quarter, so I suspect that's going to be 4. Mm-hmm. Ah, Jesus. Come on. There we go. this is why I hate data. There's not too many left to fix, though. I mean, too many, but not too many, if that makes sense. I'd rather not have to do it, but hey. I don't know, what does FIFA stand for? Okay. Federation International Football Association. Yeah. I'm going to change that slightly to remove the accents. Okay. Baseball, what does runs batted in stand for? RBI, runs batted in. Okay. And swing, how many lengths come out on a 25-meter pool? That changed something, and I didn't do anything. And there's no control Z on it. Fantastic. Right, okay, so I need to go back to in swimming. Okay. In swimming. Oh, why did it change the color? I'm glad this is getting to the end because it's starting to have issues. As you see, it's deleting stuff that I'm clicking on. Okay. So, in American football, how many points is a safety worth? I have no idea. Bartlett's 2. Okay, 2 more. In basketball, how many strikes makes an out? 3. Hey. Wouldn't say that was a difficult question, to be honest. In cricket, how many balls is an over? See, that one I would have no idea. Okay. I think we have it. So, file, load, CSV. Okay, jump over to our database. So we're setting it to 303, and we're about to add 410 to it. So that'd be about 700 questions. Trying to import this amount of data is pretty crazy, to be honest. Save the table as it's currently displayed. Okay. No, let's just go for it. No guts, no glory. So the previous files have been important were around 1K, with 7 being the largest. It's now 31K. Okay. That seems to be okay. Columns don't appear to have headers. Control A, quiz, question. Yep. No errors. Browse data. So we were at 304. Okay, for 715 questions. Okay. Awesome. I just need to learn how to create some SQL queries to tell me how many are in each category. So let star quiz question. Let's try that. Okay. Here, category equals work, and I'll try math. Okay. 101 questions in maths. Okay, let's go back to our good old friend DeepSeek. Or shall we try ChatGPT? No, we'll use DeepSeek. It's been doing well for us so far, hasn't it? Shall I create a new chat? I will. I'll create a new chat. How can I count the number of records in an SQL database? Query returned by query. Try that. I'm sure it's count. Yeah, count star. Okay. So let's go back to the database then. And you can do count star as record count. Start record count from your table. Okay, not select count star. Does that work? Ooh. What if it goes red? Right, so it definitely doesn't work there. This was a line thing. It was. So, okay. To count unique values in a column. No, I don't want that. To count by category. So count by category. So group by. Category. Right, so select column name. Does that work? Where category equals maths out. Okay, that gives me everybody's records. It's not neutralizing column one though. Okay, let's try this. I have a database with the following fields: ID, question, answer, difficulty, category, difficulty. I want to count how many records are in each category in the category column. How can I do that? That's what I want. Okay. Back in SQL, paste that in there. Set from your table to quiz. Questions? Work. No such column as category. Sure. No category. Okay. Interesting. So we've got more questions in music. Apparently we've got 2 sciences and 2 histories. Okay. So, okay. It's a bit of a pain in the backside to fix, but I'm sure it's possible. History. Mm. Okay, and I'll change this S to capital because that's what the problem is. Okay. Yeah, apply that. Copy that. Okay. Back here and re-execute this. There we go. And we've got 1 extra science question and several extra music questions. Awesome. So at this point, I'm kind of thinking maybe we should just generate some more questions since we're at like 715 records. Might as well try and get it over 1,000 or at least up to 1,000. That's a decent size, I reckon. Let's go back to our good friend DeepSeek. Because it did suggest other categories. We could do movies for 100. And we generate 50 for movies, please. Okay, and I'll just do what I did the last time, so I'll copy them. Go to our Google spreadsheet, which I can now nuke. Place them initially in one column. Okay, so I asked for 50, and it didn't give me, well, it might have given me 50 actually. Do it that way. It did give me 50, okay. Can you please generate 50 more? Awesome. Interesting that copy's not working. Oh, it's still generating, I think. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Cool. Okay. So I've got 100 on that category. What else? What more? So we've got history, we've got science, we've got geography, we've got sports, we've got movies, we've got literature, we don't have food and drink. Don't know about that one. Shall we do technology? We'll do technology. Okay, 50 more. So generating the 50s is definitely generating them. I think it balks when you try and generate 100. Again, they're probably trying to stop people from doing exactly what I'm trying to do at the moment, so I can't really blame them too much. So 100 in technology. Um, we have movies, we have music. I think mythology might be a good one. Don't know about that. Could be. See, they're a bit too niche. I'll go with pop culture. Okay, so some of these are a bit of a nightmare and I'll probably need to remove, to be honest. Let's move them across just now. Uh, oops. Well, 3 hours and 16 minutes. I think this is my longest stream yet. Although, to be fair, most of it she's been sitting generating questions, which was going to have to happen sooner rather than later, to be honest. And I think that any time we hit the hard limits of ChatGPT, I'm probably just going to generate more questions and just have like a backup database that we can move in later on or copy things from. Okay. Cool. Right, 301. That's enough to put me over 1,000. So let's see how many are broken, shall we? Let's take out the difficulty at the top. So it'll be difficulty at the top. Let's take out the headers at the top. Okay, go to tools and data, and split text to columns, and insert a column to the left. That could be a much smaller column, to be fair. There's a few of these broken. one's fine. That one's fine. Jesus, Facebook's only 21 years old. I did not expect that. I'm not interested in additional waffle on this one, to be honest. So I think Osborne's enough of an answer for that. So again, not interested in the waffle. Yep. Same with this. Yeah. I wouldn't say that Apple created the first commercially successful phone, to be fair. Pretty sure, or smartphone, I'm pretty sure Nokia had a few before then. Yeah, it's not so bad. It's fine, that one's fine. What band do I had a name? AJ Howie. By Nick and Kevin. I would never got that in a million years. What was the first I'd ever played in MTV? Take that one, right. It's another Friends one. Okay, I think that's us. So we can do the file download. CSV. There it goes. Back into our database. Back to our database file. Import text. Downloads. Let open. Where's question? Hit all, and we should be just over 1,000. There we go, 1,050. Wait. I'm pretty sure that there'll probably be some that will be issues and I'll need to go through them all. However, that is a significantly larger database than we had before. Let me just check the size difference. Refresh this and look at our database. So, oops, sent out a random incorrect one. My bad. Right. So, does it auto save? Do I need to save? Nope. Okay. So, brain drain DB bracket 1 bracket. I'm curious. Something's not right here. The database is only showing as 12. Ah, there we go. Right changes. Knew something was missing. 12K. Yeah, 92K. Awesome. That's not bad. 100K. And it's got 1,000 questions in it, over 1,000 questions in it. I think we can deal with that. I will be back in a moment. I need to check on the kitten. An entertainment category, Miss Sebral. That seems like a very interesting one. Yeah, I know what I'll do. So I'll go back to our friend over at DeepSeek. And you generate 50 questions for the entertainment category. The first movie to have Dolby Sound was A Clockwork Orange. Really? Wow. Okay. So what I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to go back to our Google Sheets. We'll do our Control A and delete. Okay. Go back to our questions, copy these, and what I'll do is I'll have change this to new questions, and I'll just save them here. Okay, that kind of works. Generate another 50. And then I've got 100 questions in the backlog, which will be available for our first update. I did not know Joss Whedon directed the Avengers movies. That's a bad question because of the answer. Okay. Oof, no. Dead. OV. Right. Well, awesome. Right, so 100 questions in the backup. So since I'm kind of on a roll today, let's go back to brain drain. Actually, no. Let's pick any of the other ones. It's not brain drain. We'll keep that clean for the code. Okay. So I'll ask the geography. Ask it the questions. If I have a quiz game and want to add new questions as DLC, what categories would you suggest I could monetize? Fantasy could be a good one. Tech and the internet could be a good one. True crime could be a good one. Ooh, holiday packs. That could be interesting. And I never actually thought about having a question pass that unlocks them all. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do, just in case I forget, is I'm going to go back to Google Sheets. I'm going to just jump out of that just now. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go to Docs. Okay, I'm just going to create a blank doc at the moment. And inside that, I'm going to place these categories. And information. Yeah, so I've got a record of it. And I'll just put brain drain monetization ideas. Helps better if I spell it correctly. Okay. I do like the idea of having specific ones at Christmas. Maybe even have like a taster pack. So, backup questions. Now, what else do we need? Let's go back to a game now. I suspect Brain Drain's not going to let us post anymore. One of the other things I did want is I wanted to try and make sure that we never had the same question, didn't I? Is that something I should focus on though? I mean, if I've not even been in Unity for a while because I've been working on the database, but should I be working on that? Right, anyway, I think after 3.5 hours of streaming, I should probably take a break from this for now and see if I've got any other ideas going forward. But this has been a very long episode 3, and look for episode 1 and episode 2 and eventually episode 4 coming out in the near future. Again, this is partly educational. It's to show you what there are limitations to what chatbots can do, whether it's ChatGPT, as we've seen, where I was actually hitting the pay limit. Copilot, which was effectively useless. Gemini is even worse. Or DeepSeek. You're not going to find a one size fits all, I don't think, for your Chat GPT, your AI companion. It's made me consider that one of the idiots, either myself or Idiot John, will request Gemini or one of the other ones, and one of us will request ChatGPT and we'll pay for them. But that's a story for another time. At the moment, I'm going to leave you, and I'll update this to link to our website later on. So you'll be able to see us at amaxgames.com, and in the media section, you'll be able to see the 3rd episode and links to the first 2. Obviously, we're available on our YouTube channel too. This will try and help us generate some more eyeballs on our work, and the more eyeballs that we can get, hopefully the more people will give us suggestions, and more suggestions we get, yada yada yada. You'll see if we can actually will listen to something as well. We also discuss when John, myself are on. We also tend to discuss upcoming ideas and try and see where we can take something, and often discuss just general things going on in our life. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I shall see you in the next one. Cheers.